What's up guys, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make breakbeats. We're going to be covering everything. I'm going to be showing you stuff that I've never shown you before as well. Some secrets I've been picking up on recently to really nail it down and get the fattest, most powerful breakbeats you've ever heard. Now, to go along with this video, I just dropped a new sample pack called Best Breakbeats Ever. The link is right at the top of the description. As you can see, what this is you get these 5 breakbeat kits, which I'll show you in the folder. So for each of these breakbeat kits, you get all the individual layers as loops. You can see there's the first one, there's the second one. So yeah, each of these, you get all the individual layers, plus you get the full Ableton files. And on top of that, I've included some free bonus effects and synth loop kits. So I'll just play you a little bit of everything. So you can hear everything in this kit is really solid. The breakbeats, the synth loops, the free bonus effects, everything is really high quality, and you will instantly take your tracks to the next level just by downloading this. So, link is at the top of the description. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. It really helps me. I don't make a whole lot off of YouTube, but with these sample packs, I'm able to keep bringing you guys new videos every single day, showing you new stuff on a higher level than has ever been seen on YouTube before. So, thank you so much for all the support, guys. Link is at the top of the description. Let's dive in. So, this is one of the breakbeats actually that I just showed you. And so basically you can see it's actually very simple, right? And that's the first thing that I want to show you guys. It's like, this is only 5 layers. And you could really even do less than this sometimes. But yeah, I think a lot of times people think it's got to be all this extra stuff. Like, oh, you're going to have like a top loop. And then you're going to have like a background snare and all this stuff. But like, nah, dude, it's really, really simple. Because the more layers you add, the more kind of like messy and muffled it can get, right? Like if you keep it really simple like this and just let each of these 5 layers be loud enough on their own, it's not going to get all jumbled together like that. Like I think if you do too many layers and you try to have like, you know, too many breakbeat loops on top of each other and too much stuff happening, it's just going to get really messy really fast, right? Because these elements already are very full. Right? Like this is already a very full mix. So it's better to just have a few really good elements and let them shine than to overcrowd it. And so the first place that this starts is actually with the breakbeats. And I want to show you something here with the layering. So if you listen, we have 2 different breakbeats, which in a lot of cases would actually be too much at once. But if I play each one individually, you can see they're 2 very different sounds, right? This one gives you that fullness and kind of like the high end and stuff. But it doesn't really have the like crack to it. And then the second one here has that punch, but it doesn't have as much of the like rolling tambourines. So then you put it together, and it creates one very full sounding breakbeat. So really, it's just that same old layering thing. This would be the same thing if you were layering synths together, or if you were layering like bass sounds together. It's universal for music production. It's just choosing 2 sounds that are very different and layering them together, and then you can hear each one individually rather than, oh, let's get 2 breakbeats that sound like this and put them together. That's just going to get really messy, and then you're going to be wondering, you're going to be sitting there with your magical EQ plugin that like sidechains the EQ or whatever and wondering why it still doesn't sound that good. Well, it's because it's just 2 bad sounds that don't fit together. But in this case, they're very different, so they fit together nicely. And on the first one, I chopped it and pitched it a little. The second one, this is actually a new technique I haven't shown you guys before, so tune in now. Basically, what you do is you can actually set this to beats mode. And if you set this little thing to like the arrow just going to the right, just one arrow, you essentially, and you also got to change this to transients, you essentially have a transient shaper now with this little knob here that says 73. If we turn that up, see how as I turn it down it gets like tighter? Right, so you can actually get some very interesting sound design through that. But it works really nicely here because it's focusing in on just those hard, like, punch kind of hits in the breakbeat. And it makes it sit over that other breakbeat really nicely. And on both of those, we just have a little high pass filter. Again, you don't need all that extra compression and side chaining and all that stuff if you just have two different sounds that fit together that don't clash for the same space. So that's the first part of it, is layering those together. But then just as important is this stuff. Right? So this is almost like a UK garage beat when we play it just with the kick and snare and hi-hat. But these are just as important, because if you listen to these break beats, you know, it's very punchy and it has a lot of texture to it. It doesn't really have that like boom, like the crack like we need. So that's where these other elements come in, right? Like the kick and snare are just all just punch. Like it's just all super punchy and fat. And then the hi-hat is also pretty punchy too. And you can hear if you put that underneath the breakbeats and don't overcomplicate it, just like kick, snare, hi-hat like this, not too much stuff, and just play it, you get a lot more punch. And ultimately this is what's going to create that modern breakbeat sort of sound. Now, the thing about this is it can't just be any old kick, snare, or hi-hat. You have to try a few different ones. You make the pattern, and then try like a few different samples. Because this is something I talk about a lot on here. It's like, there's no such thing as like a perfect kick and snare. Trust me, if there were, there would be no reason to sell any new sample packs or create new sample packs, right? But there is a perfect kick and snare for your particular groove, right? Like, that's how you really find the sample. It's not like just listening for what's a good kick. It's really like trying a lot of different kicks and snares out and just finding the one that's going to fit perfectly on top of these breakbeats. And it's going to be different for every breakbeat. But if you try a few different samples and just flip through them and don't be like too set on any one sample, you can get that nice groove. And yeah, processing's pretty simple. There's nothing on the kick. The snare I actually have a bit of drum bus. So it's without that. And with it you can hear it makes it nice and punchy. And then we have this hi-hat. Just super dry as well. You know, the processing is really not too important here. Like, what's really important more so than processing is just not overdoing the processing and not doing processing. Like in some cases you don't need it. Like hi-hat, don't need anything. Kick, don't need anything. It's just a good sample. Really, the breakbeats, it's not really that much processing, right? It's just cutting out the low end. It's like, you really don't need that much stuff. And you could really do the snare without the drum bus too, but I think it just makes it a lot fatter and more punchy. But sometimes I see people doing way too much with the processing. They think you gotta way oversaturate your kick, or you gotta, you know, do all this stuff, compress your hi-hat or whatever. Promise, if you just choose the right samples and listen for what works well with your track, you're not gonna need to do all that extra stuff, and you'll have a solid breakbeat without all the over-processing. So, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get my new sample pack, the best breakbeats ever. Link is right at the top of the description. You know, this is a really solid and accessible pack. You can get it at pretty much any budget. But you get some of the best breakbeats on the market right now. Again, I'll just play these for you. You know, super solid stuff. Plus, you get the full project files, all the individual loops from the breakbeats as well, all these individual layers as loops. Plus, you get these free bonus effects. You can see there's a ton of those, and they sound really cool too. As well as these bonus synth loop kits, and you get 5 of those with the project file and all the individual layers. So it's literally everything you need to make the best track you've ever made. Don't sleep on this. This is a really, really great value. I've put a ton of time into studying these breakbeats over the years, And now you guys get to benefit from that. So, link at the top of the description. Definitely go grab that. You're going to be able to make your best music ever if you grab this. Plus, it really helps support me. If you guys enjoy these videos, I don't make a whole lot off of YouTube, but with the sample packs, I'm able to keep bringing you guys new videos every single day. And yeah, thank you so much for the support, guys. And I will see you tomorrow with another video.